Testing. 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 1, 2. There we go. Not working. I am just having a bad start today for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh. Sharing around here. Okay, let me go ahead and update that. Phoenix. Right. Easy turn. Done. We are not playing Tarkov today. That was yesterday. Sorry about the way, I'm just letting people know that I am streaming in places that Twitch does not automatically post. You know how things are. And the last place. Okay, I think I have everyone now. Grab my controller. I hope people can hear me. It looks like it should be able to be hearing me. Yay, okay, controller works. Okay, so I was experiencing some technical difficulties, and I'm finally settling down and getting everything set up for how I am so I'm comfy playing this. Here we go. I think this is the last day of this particular trial. Yay. I'll be alright, there's no defendant. Been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. James, Daddy is busy. Okay, can you go bug mommy? Okay. One moment. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom I suspect then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lena's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to that cell 9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. You don't have time to reminisce about the past. James, no! Sorry, he's playing. Sorry about that. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you lose your only chance in finding out what really happened. I see a couple people here. Hello, Iridian, Tafaz. Hope everything's going well. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? Hi. You're never gonna find out what Chief Gant has on her. It's now. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant? This guy again. This guy is so very annoying. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Ajib, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Ha! That's a good one. Don't think I can top that. You don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Just answer! Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well, then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana. You can't. Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana, Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence to get me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict, now if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for a verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Objection! One moment, Your Honor. And Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage will certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Create another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? As the first witness to the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Mr. Sky. I don't care what you think. The exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecutor's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this, mark my words. I hope you burn. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, your witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Sky. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister and want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Ooh, excuse me. Yes, I'm trying my hardest to forget about that. No? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events in one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well then, okay then. She gave you fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and he stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Okay, let's see here. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran to Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Can you tell us about that? The marshal jumped on Dark and then the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby. So electricity went out. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman of this 2 years ago? Yep, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added a statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of what's seen once, but it seems to have been lost. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much as she can. I've seen once, but it's been lost. Investigation, I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken? But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it. This picture that I drew, that reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. This scene that imprinted on the image of your mind. Can you please describe it to us? The man. The man raised up the knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. I think I know it here. I think I got it, didn't I? That's one day. Marshall rescued me. I drew a picture, but seems to be lost. Don't I have something? I'm missing something. Oh. Ripped in half. That's what it is. That's it. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl pulled all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence. Huh? Hey, I am not the bad guy. Yes, you're not for once. I might be beaten by Rinian on that. All I'm saying is that the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that, shit. This is the evidence list for the SL9 incidents. I accidentally hit the button too fast. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over. Turn it. Ah, what's this? What is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only prosecutor in charge should have had access to that list. Huh. These lists. They're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. Good job, Judge! So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order! Order! Miss Skye, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor, are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. and the evidence list was torn in half. Then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Yeah? I think Edgeworth has found something juicy. Not sure if it's juicy good or juicy bad. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? I swear, both these two are gonna have an early death from a heart attack when they act. Sorry, Your Honor. There was indeed something drawn on the back of my list. That thing. It's the blue badger. That thing? That thing was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Though I am completely lost on why that showed up all of a sudden. So the blue badger is the killer. I mean, that makes sense. Everyone, do you think that makes perfect sense? The blue badger is the killer. Case closed. Will you please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defendant may now begin his cross-examination. This picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see was shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instance. Strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet there's clearly a contradiction here. Huh? 2 years ago, the flash of lightning was so bright I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. No, it couldn't be that easy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction to us. Take that! Contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closer, you can see his tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closer to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See, the murder weapon his tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive evidence, a piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Objection! Where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet have been broken. Oh! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Miss Edgeworth. There's another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, Mr. Right. I'm just right. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order, order, order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the evidence that took place the day of the murder. Still talking about the holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dirk along with Damon Gant. During his question, Joe Dirk fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It's my belief that somewhere in this story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances there would be two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Yeah. No? I think I know which one it is. You just showed me the picture of it. This was automated about this accuracy what she saw. It can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Right? In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some other about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look. This is the real murder weapon. Where is it? That's in the past. 2 years ago in the past. Right here inside this picture. See the broken halberd, so to say. This is a picture of the award ceremony. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award prosecutor is holding? That's a broken knife. As we early concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given his broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, that man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Ray has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this witness to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. Hope everyone's enjoying the show so far. I am such a horrible lawyer. I think Edgeworth is holding me up here. First the knife mix-up and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. I'm beginning to think more and more the blue badger was the killer. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife, but then there was just another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room. I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual. Objection! Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the events may now begin crossing. Hold it! Stop! Please, don't pursue this any further. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this! I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it to that? Chief Prosecutor Sky, we've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. This collection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I knocked away the man with the knife. I just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room when I saw this. He wasn't in the room when I saw this. The blue badger didn't exist to you. So what exactly do you want to see? Put the pieces of the puzzle together. Could have been this. Kind of the blue badger, maybe? This is the only thing I can think of. Oh, come on. I have to remember the knife. I wasn't in the room myself, but I saw a shadow. His shadow? You mean you didn't actually see his face with all the winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is the cause her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? shadow would he be? Blue Badger dreamt up and drew a picture. Yeah, she said she saw shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense belief that on that fateful day, 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that's now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright! In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is the witness saw on this thing? Please show us this. Okay. Are you sure about that? Sorry. Come on, can I turn this around more? There we go. Kind of tilted my head here. Guess it kind of could. Or maybe if I do it like this. How's this thing even supposed to sit? Is it like this? If we're sitting like this, maybe. Who knows? I'll just try it. This. But that's. What exactly is this? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like Blue Badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? Gotta show them. Things like this. Oh, there is a rotate button. Awesome. This looks good. How the hell? I guess, maybe? This isn't right. I gotta make it look more like Badger. Allow me to remind the defense case the exchanges on witness strong. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept this claim. I've got to find the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally. Show them. Oh, come on. I'm getting... Seriously, it's gotta be this. Think of anything else it could possibly be. Okay, that better be it. Finally. Sheesh. He's kind of picky. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this child's resemblance to the Blue Badger. The real killer of the entire thing. The real big bag evil guy of the entire series. What was that, Meekins? I don't know yet. No, it can't be. Order! Order! The defense has proven his claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although it may be all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What is your point? What do you mean? So the Badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What difference now that we know the witness saw this jar? At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it was these two facts that revealed what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If it wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason might be, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. Have you, spiky head? So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. Too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact of the man man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Ah! A suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. Since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there was another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless. I don't think I can go through with this, Mr. Wright. What's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Yeah. The shock. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No. She fainted. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So as a witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with their own testimony. This is unprecedented. Sorry about that, James. My son came in, bugging for some attention. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that, coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edwards, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes. Prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the accident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. We've got animals to testify, why not? And you got some witchcraft? Black magic? This has been all a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edworth? I mean, the possibility is that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased? What does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister's a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. Therefore, only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Well then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of this evidence so we can continue with this sham of a trial. There's Emma Sky's prince. Oh, no. Oh, I guess that wasn't right. If a dead person left behind a message, it would have been written in form, not by a logical conclusion. Better be careful, you might wind up deceased yourself. Is that a threat, Edward? Let's try this again. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence. Okay, we'll try this then. I'm sure looks blood on there. Oh, is he gonna just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, in the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here drawn in blood. So what are you saying? Is there dots that were once lines? Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the last few precious moments left to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have been seeped into the jars with the lines changed direction. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will appear. No. What kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these dot stains will reveal us to the answers. Gotta connect the dots to make it. Okay, one thing the victim would have written against his murderer's name. Okay, let's see how this works. What do you think? I came up with this message. Yes. I feel like I'm teaching handwriting to a student who's all thumbs. I think you should make him write out "I won't do it again" 100 times. Oh, come on. What did I miss? What kind of message did the victim leave for us? This is obvious goes here. One moment. My wife is probably angry at me for not being able to figure it out easily. Or scoot. Scoot. Yes. I feel like I'm... Oh, come on! Okay. Yes. 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 getting it now? Really? Picky. How about that? Is that? Oh, finally. That's innocence. That's why I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. See, Worthy, can't see I didn't warn you. Oh, this guy again. Chief Kent, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ack. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Objection! But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. He might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just... Order! The judge is getting angry. The gavel pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where is this trial is headed, who no one knows. To be continued. Woohoo! Oh yeah, I apparently had another screen covering up the stream chat, and I just noticed Renian literally having a freak out of my horrible handwriting, even in game. Then again, my real life handwriting is just as bad. Come on, my 5-year-old son can probably do better handwriting than me. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This was my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. You always do. Get back down here. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around all on duty. On top of it all, you call me here. I've seen happy people at funerals. Didn't we already do this? Take it, Len's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here you go. She asked me to give this to you if it was a break on today's trial. Evidence law? What? Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you plan on taking him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read in 30 minutes. Or less. Doesn't look like that book will be any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured out yet why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me, Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she's unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me! More! Do they ever actually mention what the second law of evidence law is? Am I gonna have to go to lawyer school to figure out the second? Because I mean, or I can just do what Phoenix Wright did and just throw myself at it. Man didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That meant the serial killer is still out there. Gotcha. What? And we're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Yeah, I mean, doesn't that kind of happen throughout the rest of the games? Actually, that's just a pretty common trope. We have a MacGuffin! We're gonna use the MacGuffin! Then we completely forget about it next episode. Court will now reconvene the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Seems kind of like, bring it on. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls for the witness. But, cough, cough. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Miss Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witness. I didn't say that. It just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there are no precedents for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement. This is a normal case for us, apparently. I don't care what you say. The effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth may have found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. Then, defense may now call forth the next witness. I believe in normal law, I could be wrong, in normal real-life courts, defense can call witnesses, I think. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is good as over. Defense calls... Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Can we call Meekins out? Or better yet, nah, no good. It's obviously going to be him. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As a defense partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? And he called witnesses. I guess that the game, what the game means, only Wright calls witnesses? What do you mean, Meridian? True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh no, he's gonna state as... What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, yeah. He called Parrot. So, oh, you're right. You're right. He did call the Parrot. It would make it easier if I could call my own witnesses sometimes. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. Both. You are aware, of course, that police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testament, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of my time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Oh? Then why did you have evidence on you? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Yeah, but you had evidence on you. You were hiding it in your own safe. Where was it? Ah, this one. Objection! You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, there are articles of evidence uncovered in your office, as both concrete proof that you also played part of the legal investigation. Chief Grant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit then that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy? Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of defense of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, what was it now? Jar fragment in the list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after the Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Yes, Your Honor. In the investigation of the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the priest of police, right? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today as well, you know. Alright, Uji, in return though, I know, that place, right. What? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. You can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after the Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason that I participate in forgery. Rearranging the crime wouldn't help me out anyway. Really, Chief Grant? At the very least, there was one very large benefit you reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What's this benefit? That you could that would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh, the resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho, ho, ho. You are not Santa Claus. You're far from it. Oh, that's a good one, huh? You really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already next in line to becoming the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful with pointing a finger. You might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only three people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Uji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only reason I care about yours truly. That girl, Lena's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, point accomplice, yes. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I meant. Very well then, who is this person you believe Chief Cat may have helped forge evidence?
Take that!
Chief Prosecutor, the defendant? I believe him quite obvious in light of circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? Jeffrey Udge. So first initial is J and last name Udge. Judge. And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SLN incident was resolved, NSK was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged his job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. You mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Judge. How can you be? I'm moving along. You must mean puppets as someone who's forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lansky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Well, you just admitted to it. Righto. Righto, good chap. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I have done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Aunt Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid that any proof is all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Dorothy, you better watch your tongue. Oh, okay. Just that. And just that. Okay. Get back to the game. Sorry, just checking something here. Dorothy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? 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 Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? This is impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating that what Mr. Edgeworth said in easy to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? What the chief, a high-ranking officer in the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then, let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Shows us evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder. Well, we know it was 7777777. Where's that evidence at? There you go. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list that we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Scant's office requires a code to open. 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean. I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same number as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Scant, you entered the... Oh, now he looks angry. Look at that eye twitch. Day of the crime. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense searches of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright to be punished to a maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as do I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to go with you that day, would he? Oh, of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Landeskai's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. Angare! Mahaha! Chief Gant met the victim the day of the crime. We need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof the victim went to Chief Gant. Let's see here. What could it be? Can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. Well, there we go. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. You would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet, you're in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait, the Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes, now that you mention... Oh, damn it, I was too quick. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found under the body. No. What the? Did he just explode? Like anime explode? Did he go super? No, I don't see Super Saiyan. And he didn't go yellow. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime. No one in the right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contact Alana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana Sky stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. No, not really. I don't think... You should anime explode, you know, like what life come undone. That seems kind of painful. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. Eh? How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. I'm not sure how, but this seems to be just utterly useless, so... This is how I moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? What does this have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go by Chief of Grant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it in here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this here with me. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it was obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body of your accomplice. To your accomplice, Miss Lana Sky. Order! 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 What's going on in here? Is there no room for rebuttal of the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up. Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it on time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're trying to say. But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. You think I had Lance dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Right, well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Mr. Sky dispose of his body. Do I have anything? I have to keep the pressure on. Yes, sir. Okay. Then please, hurry up. Shit. I didn't mean to click that. I don't think I have anything at the moment. See, Udgy. In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck is on my side again today. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer at our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Lady Luck? Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't even had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth, another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method is proof of testimony. If Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify, there's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. Defense calls forth. Take that! The defendant, Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot, 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance to a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Lana! Where is that from? Is that a quote from something? Or a reference to something there, Fods? Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. Maybe it's Martha? I don't know. 15 minutes we will reconvene to hear the defense testimony. Hold it, huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I got a lunch date to meet. Isn't that witness tampering? Come on. Come on. Ah, Archer, okay. A show that I don't really watch all that much. I'm probably one of the few people who did not really enjoy the show. This court is now in recess. Another recess. Great. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. Chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Ha ha ha. I am not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. No no. Oh no. No 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 no. Sure, I'll take the place of that top knotted girl you used to work with. Nodded. Good you mean? Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How does he always get the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. I thought secretaries... Never mind. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery, so she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I can finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do something and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. This is all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back to time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? Nope, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? It's time to end this charade. I'm adding stuff. Yes, I know. Deal with it. Not even 7 o'clock yet. I might actually finish the game today. We shall see. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edwards, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. You can't handle the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First of all, tell us your relationship with Chief Gant. We have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found prosecutor's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Drake Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I am confessing to the capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana, if this is true, then it means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you gotta help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. You know, she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. Hey, dude, cross-examination. Think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence myself 2 years ago. When I found the prosecutor much better, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? The person died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed as possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a low distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not. I'll cover up lies with more lies. It's all just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of the Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and moved the body. Planted the tip of the victim's wound? When you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I have to ask her for the sake of the others. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. That's how the witness explained this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. My only motivation to get Dark Twisted. Okay, wait. So how did the jar break? Yep, that's where we go. I present to you the jar. How did the jar break if that's not what happened? Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring out everyone's attention. Signal contradiction with your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written in this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's new name on a shattered jar. Order, order, Your Honor. It would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we were headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. I merely noticed the blood traces in the jar. It was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. Ah, but you didn't. You did miss one. Oh. I can't do that yet. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin cross-examination. Herperderp. Herperderp. I don't know. We're always angry or shocked or in Phoenix Wright's case, sweating nervous. Mainly noticed the blood traces in the jar. It was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I went through the blood. Except for one. Objection! Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you weren't aware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in the Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On that night, Prosecutor Marshall was murdered. You were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Ganthe got there before you. Dun dun dun. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed the piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day. How? Looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that! There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for dark dumps. Didn't let me finish. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gann arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar. And purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear what happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark. Sparing Emma. Therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the Chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type that likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Man, I may be right after all. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Don't tell him. So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright. Miss Scott, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall, Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the test witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. Fluffy yay, hey, absolution, thank you for coming. Hi, glomp. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled in a suit of armored sword. Emma and Dirk were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought, she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled with an armor sword. You were the only one who saw that, if you only had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Wait a minute. She did send me a book this morning. Let's check that evidence again. It must be somewhere here. Bingo! Bingo, there's the knife. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. And that's a picture, it's the court record. Gasp, Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest. Could that be? That cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. Well. What's this? Yes. That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whose ever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple? Did you forget to breathe, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So as long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene. Alright, fine. Mr. White Marshall Blind Pell. Oh, what the? I didn't push anything. Oh, this douchebag. Come now, Aji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant, what now? You want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeit your right to make statements of any sort. This must be with that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of your noose tightening around your own neck. I like the image. I like that image. Grrr. Again, another anime explosion. Either that or he's powering up. I don't know. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean? You still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You don't have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt? Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as a murderer. This is making it too easy. If anything, you will be the one appearing before a board of inquiries. Better think of this through, because I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We find it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chip? You know, I'm not even going to finish reading. Well, I'm going to finish reading it, but I just realized he just admitted to hiding evidence. It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. He's like, fuck. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blank lay of her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body, and moved the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had two pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the crime scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging evidence? What do you take me for, fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go ahead and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Ooh. Oh ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Rido. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off from the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. It's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Rido. You should have shown it before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess this up, victory is mine. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered the prosecutor. Marshall. Yes. Piece of cloth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh ho, yes. At last you finally brought it in the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint of the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho ho ho. You're as slow as the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. My controller just died. Yay, full plug-in. Should work now. Yeah, it worked. Okay. Yay, power cables. Long power cables. Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma, but why? Why didn't you tell me? You're really something, Rido. I knew this girl did it all along, and you still try to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you? You're a monster, Miss Sky. You knew whose fingerprints it was all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not yet over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only his trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence that my friend is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to the pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter, cat got your tongue? Aren't you gonna tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this full babbling about? Yeah, tell me about it. Up and down. Where is it going? This case is just really confusing. Who the real killer is? Mr. Wright. What could possibly contradict it? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold! The piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Wait. What's a check button? Why is there blood underneath the vest where it was cut out? And check again. This has no blood on it. So what's that supposed to be? This is a picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out all that blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth? Wait. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled with a sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could have been? Who could have it been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor, impaled him on the armored sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. The jar they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Is he gonna explode anime style again? Remember what you made only moments ago? That you personally cut out the bloodless piece of the victim's chest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Yep, there's the anime explosion. Yeah, they are. This is so much of a sham trial. It's like, this would never go through an actual real-life trial at all. Finally over. And hey, Soto, thanks for coming. Good to see ya. Oh, he's sweating now. Heh, heh, heh. Ho, 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 ho. That was close, Rideout. You almost had me. Sorry. But you have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, what nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Rido here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rido? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Whew, whew, whew. He's like, do you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, true. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last the time for me to reveal my final trump card. I mean, my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it that you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It is not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to resolve in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not violation, then do so now. Evidence law! Why not? This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. Let me throw the book at him! What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible to prove the relevance between the cloth and SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Okay. Sorry, but you can recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave its value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You bit your own ass. Ah! Listen to me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes. Sweat drop. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person you could have cut this from the victim's vest and hang him by his feet is the one who stood before Prosecutor Mutual in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who could that be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. He's having a mental breakdown. Oh my god. Mental breakdown, dude. Yikes. Sheesh. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, and they convinced Bruce Goodman, Detective Goodman. Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report, and went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? Oh, we eat? Oh, that's easy. Protogens, the visors are actually, like the smooth black visors are actually nanites, and you can open up into a maw. I'm sure if you Google Protogen on anywhere, you'll probably find good images of them with open mouths. In fact, I might have one. Give me one moment. I'll show a good image that I have. Let's see, not that one. Is this it? Yes, it is. It is safe for work, so don't worry about that. Let me post a good this image. There we go. How the visors open up and nom on food. Nom nom nom. We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. I mean, barely? What do you mean, barely? Ah, come on, it's just an open mouth, slimy tongue, slimy mouth. Come on, nothing lewd is showing, really. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken back by his words. It's a purely innocent picture. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I was taking his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then he put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she has much to lose as if I did. The truth came out. So he took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah, it looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. No, my avatar is just no legs, just the upper body. One day I'll get a live 2D avatar. But right now it's just a simple GIF avatar. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Yeah, it is kind of. I have it set up so it bounces. Well, it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. Well, what? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Dame again. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to the others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Rido here. And Worthy. Rido and Worthy. Worthy and Rido. These two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sound of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes, first, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to be silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what a high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought you so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now you might just make it to the top. Oh my god, she smiles! Yay, smiling Lana! I owe my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky, and to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. Then yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. Edgy. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examination is in order for all of us. Miss Sky, yes, Your Honor, you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact you still acted as an accomplice, a trial will be scheduled for those crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of those heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Yay! And there's Dick Gumshoe throwing all the confetti. That is all. This court is adjourned. Whew. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Miss Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as you did the past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Anna didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not... Come on, Gumshoe, stop interrupting every single discussion we have out here. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? It's like repeating. Is this a running gag now? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty. On top of it, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana. Should you be doing this? She's still on the rest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by just distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you would react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No, huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you didn't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Yay, smiles. Oh, Emma. Emma! Yay, hugs. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Well, he ran off quick. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly. Not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. Come on, one day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go at it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said that in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. I'm quite sure Rinian is squeeing about this moment. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what I was talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I have no idea. Oh! That's the picture I drew. Counterattack began with this. He had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. Love such crimes. I knew Radiant would be happy about this little moment. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can't let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems like you might think too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I'd better be going too. Okay, I'll be by to visit soon. It seems you both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Yeah, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? Now, I like these little children books. With little duckies. It's the first book I've ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I wonder if that's a running gag if they have books in here that are with that duck. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. Show here. Oh well. And as for me, I think it's time I start on a new journey of my own. A journey to discover myself. Well, don't go checking out just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? Well, this is a little matter result about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, maybe okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Where to go, detective? I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright, he's the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What do you think? I can afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Poor Mr. Wright. Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection! Okay, what's going on now? Don't I get a... Yep, take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has been pretty much ended my days at prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. I'm hoping while taking it, usually by the end of these they actually explain what actually happened in the murder. Like the very first murder. Yikes, I thought I was gone for a moment there. At the end though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off like that easily. Roll credits! Oh, come on. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been promoted to a security guard. My partner is keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. Your partner? I'll show them though. Someday I'm a make detective. Yes, sir. Ah, then I'll be just like that Dick Gumshoe. That was interesting. Oh, hey, there's more. Oh, there's the blue badger. It will stare into your soul. It will eat your soul. The blue badger. All hail the blue badger. Oh boy. What is it? Oh, so I managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Well, this was definitely an interesting trial. Lots of twists and turns, plot twists, plot things. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way Lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot sell around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Interesting. Wait. The last cutscene though? Oh, so you apparently know the cutscene, hun? Well, which one are you talking about? Oh no, the judge. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see what his name was again. Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something on the other four. How many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I gotta go. What the hell is that? I think the judge should not be judging anymore. Wow. He has bigger memory issues than I do. Mr. Left? I forgot my gavel! Ah, nothing, Suze. Still sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. So, I wonder what the final cutscene is. I'm guessing it's something with Edgeworth, knowing Rinian. Yep, I figured. I knew I would see, of course. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Oh no, the T guy. The butt. What's going on? Huh? That was confusing. Was that it, Rinian, or was it something else? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Seriously, I wonder if there's a series of these books in-game. Okay, anyway, I guess I should click it. Yep. Oh, hey, envelope. Oh, do I get to see the picture? Oh, yeah, there we go. That's cute. That is actually is pretty cute. So what was I supposed to see? Or is that the moment with Edgeworth you're talking about? Or is there more? Oh no. I wonder what Rennie was talking about. I'm assuming was that Edgeworth handing in his resignation? Which note? Oh, you mean the note with his with him I can't talk though. With him resigning? I found that earlier. No, it looks like it was just that. I'm guessing in the second game he had resigned already by the second game. Yeah, Rinian is our resident Phoenix Wright expert. So wait, no? Oh, he disappeared. He disappeared in the second game? Huh. Maybe he left and went on a spiritual journey or something. You know, that's kind of what these anime characters do, right? A little self-searching. You did say he was a bit more, quote-unquote, less sundeer in the second time he shows up. I think you said that. Anyway, it is about 7:52 here. I normally end off at 8, so we're gonna end off a little early. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I knew I was right. Come on, because it's such a trope of spiritual journey and all that good stuff. Anyway, let's see. Who shall I raid today? Not very many people on my list are streaming right now. Let's do... Hopefully everyone stays. I know. I'm going to send over to... let's do... Nico. Let's do Nico. Nico... Mari... DT. Well, thanks for everyone coming and watching. This is again my at the moment last time. Well, not last time, but I'll be ending the Ace Attorney game for now. I'll be doing the 100-day survival of Minecraft with the only mod I'm adding. I think is going to be Rise of the Toasters, which adds in I'll be looking like a Protogen, and there's going to be Protogen items I can craft. That's the only so I'm adding that one in. But for now, we are heading over to Nikumari, another friend of mine. Hopefully everyone will stay so we can raid them. Wednesday, I will be raiding most likely. No, Wednesday I'll be playing again. Bye everyone!